Welcome back, everybody. Cloudy day here. Travis is back. It's been a busy July, so I've tried to keep the videos up and going, but we've traveled a couple of times out of town. So one was just to the beach and one was overseas on a cruise out of London, and it made it tough to keep the videos going. So I try to get some content consistently in there. Every 5 to 6 days is what I usually average. Good part is the plane ride was long. I did some editing on there and had some things ready, but the car's in desperate need of a wash. I think it's been at least 3 weeks since I washed it. No, maybe two weeks, because I also went to Houston for a weekend, July 16th, 17th roughly, and I cleaned it right before I went. So it hadn't been cleaned since then. It's been raining every single day here in South Louisiana since June at least. So we've never had a day in July without it. We're coming up on the end of July right now. So it's time for a wash. I'll give you some updates on some things that have been going on, and I need to ceramic coat this thing. I need to take the time to do it, and it's just been a busy summer, so hopefully I'll get to that soon. Also just finished a C8 Corvette with a friend of mine on his new C8. We did the entire process for that, which I may have mentioned before in a previous video, but I did not film it. So he came to help me, and I taught him just along the way of everything. So we took a lot of time, and I didn't actually film it there, but still got to do mine. Still got to do the wife's C63 AMG, and may have a couple other cars to do as well. But got everything pretty much set up. Let's get the wheels first, and we'll keep this thing rolling. Right, normal routine here, guys. Obsessed Garage. Wand, swivel hose with a gun. Well, not the wand, but the wand is actually on the side over there. Just use it to rinse after. So the car is filthy. You can probably see on here just how filthy the wheels are. And it's actually not terrible from brake dust. It's more just, it's a combination of brake dust and just junk from the rain, mud and everything else, road grime. So these Carbotechs are doing pretty good. They feel just like stock, and they're not quite as dirty, but I mean, the wheels get filthy anyway. So this is the longest part of cleaning the car, is these wheels are so intricate. I love them. They look great. They just are a pain, man, to clean. Everybody says so. So even if I had carbon ceramics, it would still be dirty. You know, so let's get at it. I always give them a good rinse with the pressure washer first, just because that gets at least half of the dirt off. So I've been sticking to kind of the same process. It's my Adams wheel and tire, which is just my favorite. You know, see this? That's a bag. I was about to say that might be a piece of my garage floor, because the epoxy just keeps peeling. Not very pleased with that, but that's a whole nother subject. But I still like the Adams wheel and tire the best. I got a brand new bottle, so I had it in a press-all bottle, but then the sprayer is messed up on a couple of my press-alls I've been kind of disappointed with. So I'm really been using the same brushes. You know, I've tried a bunch and I'm just down to a few now. This is the Detail Factory brush from Obsessed Garage that you've seen before, and it's my favorite tire brush. I mean, the most brushes I've been testing out have pretty much been on wheels, and I kind of just stick to the same few now. So even through all that, you see the wheels aren't really browning or terribly dirty. Number one, it's because I keep them clean. Number two, I think the brake pads help. Number three, the Obsessed Garage tire dressing that I use, that I've really come to love, does not brown the tires at all. Now, these Pirellis aren't as bad as everyone says. I get a lot of hate. I mean, I won't put them back on. I won't buy them again, but it's really not that bad. I didn't get the Michelins like most people want. And they've been hard to get. And now I'm feeling some drizzling and raindrops. I tell you, it's been hard to wash the car also just because it's been non-stop rain every day. And I think we'll be all right. I'm more worried about the camera getting wet. All right, so first is the Easy Detail brush. This is definitely the go-to for the inside of your wheels. Now, I still need to take these wheels off and ceramic coat them. But again, that's just a time thing, just the process of doing it and letting the tires or the wheels sit. You know, once they're coated for cure time and between coats, it's just too fine time to do it. July's been a busy month. Actually, June and July. We were in Las Vegas for work first week of June. We were at the beach for family vacation with my parents and sister and her family at the end of June. And then we had a trip planned on a cruise, like I mentioned, out of London on Celebrity Cruises. And that was 10 days. That was July 1st through 10th. So we've been gone a lot, to say the least. This lambskin mitt has been the best for this, because these spokes are just so hard to get in between. I just put a couple of fingers in it, and that seems to do best for me. There's no easy way or process to clean these wheels. You just gotta take it piece by piece. So the cruise was awesome. You know, I hadn't been a cruise fan because I've taken a couple of Carnival cruises and just been extremely disappointed. So this was something through work, and I said I'll give it a chance. It's not something I would ever book, so I took it. My wife and I went, and actually we had an amazing time. So Celebrity Cruises was really nice. The boat was the Silhouette. Flew into London, went out of Southampton. And let me get all in here, in these spokes. Southampton Port, then went through Scotland and Ireland. And it was awesome. Kind of followed the same ports as the Titanic. Got to see where that Titanic was built and launched. Had a museum there, so that was really cool. So it kind of renewed my faith in going on cruises. So I think I would do it again. Every time I clean these wheels and I bring it inside, there always seems to be one little piece I miss, like in a little corner or something. There's just so many of them. I got these small detail brushes, which you could use for interior or anything really. I just like them. I've always used this one just to get all in between the tight areas and the lugs. And I could get inside on the calipers. Let's see if we got it. That might be wheel number 1. What I really need to do is get in these fenders because they're pretty dirty. You could use your easy detail brush for that. All right, I think that's pretty good. Looks good. Now, one thing with steel brakes is they're gonna rust. You know, every time I wash them and you put chemicals on them, they're gonna get rusted. So I wanna get some rust stopper, and Obsessed Garage sells one that works really well, but he's been out of stock just with supply chain issues. So what you would do is you would wash your wheels like this, and while they're still wet, like right now, you would just spray on the rotor some rust stopper, and then you won't get that rusting of them. And then the bad part about the rusting is the first time you drive it, you know, your brake pads clean that off, but then the orange rust dust gets all over the wheels. So I definitely want to get some of that. So, all right, I'm going to knock out the other 3 wheels, and then we'll come back for rinsing and foaming. All right, got all the wheels done, got my wand set up. Now let's just give the car a rinse. We got to rinse down because it is really filthy. I'll tell you one thing. So I made a video that's probably right before this one, so I can get some of these bugs off. It's either 1 or 2 videos before this one, it'll be. But it's Adam's Slick and Slide and Obsessed Garage Drying Aid, and how they're actually the same product. And I've mentioned that before. But this car, all I have on it, I never coated it or anything. It doesn't have any kind of protection. And all I have is, I think last time I used, I can't remember if I used Slick and Slide or if I used Drying Aid. I think I used Obsessed Garage Drying Aid. Pretty positive that I did when I washed it. And that's it, didn't use anything else. I tell you what, it's pretty beady and hydrophobic. Just for that, it's amazing how great it works. Now the side of the car is filthy, but still has some, I mean, not really beating, but the water is kind of separating off of it. I've liked my little carbon side vents. You saw the video on that, those are cool. Got some bugs in the front for sure from the road trip to Houston. I had wiped them off once, just one day, but just from driving around, still got some. Some are part of the G80 group, M3 G80 group, and now it's kind of just a overall BMW group and a couple of Porsche guys. And they had a car show in Cypress, Texas. We all went to together, decided to make the trip. It was awesome. It was a really good weekend. A lot of guys had different mods. Now, the only thing that was terrible about the weekend was the second I got there. If you saw the other video I have about I cracked my front splitter. I don't have a front splitter in the car right now because I had to rip it off. Right when I got there, pulled up in the grocery store to get some things right when we got into Houston, and ran up right on the curb, and just, I heard it, I felt it in my heart, man. God. I just knew what happened. You know, somebody made a comment on my video about it saying, hey, did your front camera not come on, or did you use it? And that was a good point. And it usually comes on when I pull in the parking areas, but for some reason it did not that time. I may have to manually put it on to make sure, but it did not. Because I know locally at Sam's, when I shop there, you know, for work or whatever it is, my camera seems to always come on. Maybe it just reads or senses the curb a little better. make sure I have nothing over here because I had some mud. All right, so I had to adjust there for a little bit. Something that's never happened to me before. I checked the camera and it says it stopped recording because the memory card's full. And it's never happened to me. I didn't have anything else on the card before filming, so it shouldn't be full. Anyway, I put a new card in, and I'm not sure how much you saw, but I rinsed the car. So it's time to foam. Let me get my foam cannon. And I'm going to show you that I'm sticking to just the, I guess my favorite, that it's always there, the Adams Mega Foam. So in the Mtm Foam Cannon, there's a 250 milliliter line, and I always go right about half of that. It's about 125 to 150, which I'm guessing is 3 to 4 ounces. I haven't measured, but it's a decent amount in this bottle. All right, gonna quick connect. Now we're good. I usually kind of mix it a little bit, a couple of times, and let's foam. Oh, and I've got something new for this time, and I'm going to give it a shot, and let's see if it'll work. It's Adams Car Shampoo, pH neutral. I still just enjoy using it. Squirt some in the wash bucket. I'm gonna put some on my wash mitt. All right, so I'm going to the normal 2-bucket method. You know, I tried the GSF, I have it, the Koshimi GSF, and while it's great, it's just as good. I would say for some reason, I like this. I just like using the Adams one better. I just like the foam shampoo combo. It just works for me. It's cost effective. And it's not gonna break the bank. Koshimi's a little more expensive. It's slick, it smells great, Works great, doesn't spot. I'm kind of lucky that it's been raining and it's overcast today because it's not hot. It's been so hot lately. My kids are about to start school, which maybe, you know, that's good. Might get back to a normal routine, and I can take some time and do this. I really want to coat these wheels. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do car first or if I'm gonna do the wheels first. I kind of want to do the wheels first. Coat them. Might have to drive the Jetta for a couple days, you know, while that's curing, and the only advantage of having an extra car. And then we're just gonna blow dry and use some Obsessed Garage drying aid. What I love about that stuff is it's kind of even eliminated me having to use glass cleaner. It's just so, it just works so well in everything. It cleans it all perfectly. So I'm hoping the GoPro worked for the foam. Just wanted to have some fun, do something a little different. I'm not a cinematographer or a camera expert. I just thought, hey, I wonder if I did some slow-mo stuff. Because foaming's cool. It's the fun part. So we went to this Cars and Coffee of Cypress, Texas car show we went to. And it was an okay size, I mean, better than anything around here. And what was cool is somebody in the group of G80s just bought my previous M3. Previous G80 M3, 2022, rear-wheel drive, oxide gray. So if you follow my channel at all, the first car that I had ceramic coated that I started making videos on, that car was then later purchased, just ironically, by someone who joined the Houston group. So I got to park right next to it at the show, which is pretty cool. And I tell you what, I miss that color. It's got a little more, just in general to it than this color. It's a little more exciting, I guess you could say, than this color. It's just more dynamic, which I've mentioned before. It would not go with this interior. So it's not like I wish I had it over this one. But man, it just looks so good. It's an awesome color. That with red interior, I think would look great. Really loving my new ducktail spoiler. If you watch that video, it really just changes the look of the rear end. It's not too aggressive like that first one I put on. That was kind of ridiculous, that I really didn't like. So I don't know how much I've talked about it, but you know, I go to the gym at least 5 days a week, sometimes 7 days a week, somewhere between 5 and 7. And we left and went on that cruise. Well, that was 10 days, and I think I worked out 1 day on the boat, and the rest of the time I just ate till I was sick. So my wife and I tend to do that on vacation. The problem with that is it curbs your appetite so much that, you know, when you get home, I was just so used to eating so much. Not only that, I didn't work out. I tell you what, I'm sore because I've been hitting it hard the last few days here to get back in my routine. It feels great. It feels stronger, which is odd, you know, getting back in. All right, it's time to rinse. Feels strong, but man, I'm sore. So I just got to get back in the routine. That's all it is. Checking the camera, make sure it's not you know, cutting out because no space. I don't know why it told me that. Some of that foam out of there. All right. So let me get this out of the way. I don't like rolling over my hose. It may be able to take it, but I just don't like to. So move it completely out the way. And let me get the dryer. So if you've seen my videos before, you know it's the Ego 765 with the stubby on it. All right, I'm gonna bring it on in. Car's inside, got Obsessed Garage drying aid, and this is from Adams, this double-sided towel, but it's my favorite towel for drying. It's just big. I have a couple of Obsessed Garage ones that are a little bit smaller. As you start with this one, because it typically just takes one, and for the whole car, really. I love how you could just lightly mist this stuff, and you just kind of rub it around. Essentially, like no streaking, flip, you're done. No streaking, perfect finish, and slick and smooth. It's always just exactly what you want. Just that light mist. Now I love the press-all sprayer for this, but for my wheel and tire cleaner, it just doesn't work. A couple of things it doesn't work for. I don't know if it's just the type of chemical in it. I've just been disappointed in them, in a couple of them. All I keep thinking about is that hamburger I'm about to order after this. So I really hope you guys are enjoying these videos. You know, I appreciate the ones who have followed and commented. Yeah, it's just a lot of car washing and talking, but you know, it's hard to, you know, I guess there's some guys out there on YouTube that just keep buying car mods just to be able to make videos, you know, and that's not really me. You know, like I've always said, I'm just doing me, and if you like and follow along, great. If you don't, great. You know, no big deal. It's not how I make a living. It's just something I'm passionate about doing and enjoy doing. But it definitely seems like a lot of these guys just buy mods to make videos, and I have made videos on mine, but I'm only buying the mods that I really want. You know, I'm not just buying extra things just to make content necessarily. This stuff is just so good, even on the windows. It leaves like just nothing. I can't really understand why and how it's so much different from so many other products, you know, except the Adams Slick and Slide naturally, but I don't know why it works so well, but it just works so well. Coated or uncoated. And if your car is coated, it's just even that much better. So I'll tell you the hot topic nowadays, man, it's like, you know what, I'll move the camera over here. How about PPF? Gosh, seems like every single person who gets an M3 or any new car is like immediately putting PPF on it. And I have nothing against PPF. It's just I don't like it. Man, like nowadays it's well over $5 grand to do a car. And I get it, you're trying to protect the paint, you know, but I've never kept the car long enough. You know, if you're only keeping the car 3 years, it's almost like, what's the point? Thought my phone was ringing. I love just being able to touch the paint and do things to the paint. You know, and PPF would just take that away from me. Plus, I wouldn't want these, you know, if you just PPF the front, I wouldn't want these lines, these dirt lines. For example, that would drive me crazy. I've had it on an M4 already. I just took all the PPF off. You know, it gets chipped, you have to redo that whole panel. And like, oh, but if a rock chip hits the paint, then you got to repaint it. I'll take that chance. And I'm 39 years old, just made 39. And all my cars with paint have been pretty good so far. So it might be hard to tell on the camera, but this is super slick and shiny, you know, just like you would want. Minus ceramic coating. So now I'll start on the sides, and then I'll get the front and back. I like this large towel because I could just do so much with it. It doesn't get really saturated. You know, if you feel your towel getting saturated, just get a second one, a fresh one. Or you can use a 2-towel method where you just, you know, you spread it with the first towel essentially and you wipe it dry with the second. That's a very common way to use this stuff. That's how Matt teaches you to use this stuff and how he likes to do it on Obsessed Garage. I just use a little bigger towel and I get the same result. So if you never use this stuff, it has like a slight vinegar smell. Sometimes I never smell it. Like today I just smell it very faintly. And what I cannot stand is the smell of vinegar, but this is, it's not nearly as strong as regular vinegar. I've always wondered if it has like some type of vinegar in it. Probably not. But whatever's in it, you know, the silicone dioxide, the SiO2, whatever levels. Maybe that stuff is what smells. I'm not sure. So I can see if I had a black car, how this could maybe streak a little bit. Sometimes I can see it on my gloss black trim and diffuser. But typically I just come with that second wipe, you know, with the dry side. And it's good to go. And I kind of like leaving the diffuser for last. Just all the trim, essentially. So when I was on the cruise, I was able to get some good drone footage. I put that on my personal page. That's not really to get subscribers or anything, that's just for fun, which this is too, but people subscribe to this. My personal page I don't really use consistently. It's more like an extra space just to have stuff. You know, I share the drone videos with family or friends, whoever. But I have a Mavic Air too that I really like using. Took a drone video over the Cars and Coffee event too in Houston. Let's open this up. Oh, did I lock it? No, there we go. But if you guys would want, I could put a link to the that page with the drone videos in those countries. Just when we stopped at the port, I just took a little video of a couple of different spots of the port and the ship. Again, I'm no pro at that, but it's just fun. It's fun and easy to use. So we finished all the drying aid on the car. Last step, I did wipe some drying aid on the wheels. I didn't film, I just use it just as a touch up. It just works well. But last step is the Obsessed Garage tire dressing with the curve ball brush. Constantly my favorite combo. You just load up a little bit on the brush and this stuff just works the absolute best. Just the way it finishes, the way it sits. The brush works amazing. I can get underneath better. You know, with other brushes and sponges, I couldn't get on that bottom piece very well. Sometimes the stuff to come touch up once the car rolls. I have no clue who blended this for him. Who came up with the formula, the smell. And the smell is just very light. It doesn't smell like anything else. But I just love the look and finish on it, man. It looks so good right there, and it's gonna dry a little bit more satin, I guess, just a little than this. It's very glossy right when you put it on. I just love that it just sits for a little while and it doesn't sling anywhere for me. And it just comes out great. So that wraps up another video of just a regular wash on the M3. I stick to the products that I love, the Adams Wheel and Tire, the Adams Mega Foam, the Car Shampoo, and then Obsessed Garage Drying Aid, along with Obsessed Garage Tire Dressing. Just those few products, and man, you get amazing results. I really need to vacuum the interior, so I'm gonna do that. But we'll have some more content coming soon. Hopefully, I know I've been talking about it a long time, I just gotta find the time to do it. I want to pull these wheels off, ceramic coat them with CarPro Deluxe and Gliss, and then use that CSL XO combo on the car itself. But gonna have to do probably a 2-stage paint correction. The paint's really not bad at all, but I got about 5,000 miles on the car now, so it's overdue. I need to do it, but we're gonna continue this along. If you got any suggestions, questions, throw it in the comments. Shoot me a message. You can find me on Instagram as well, decon_nation. If you want to see a picture of my old car versus my new car next to each other at the Cypress, Texas Cars and Coffee, check out my Instagram at decon_nation. I'll put a picture there, so they look good together. But appreciate you guys watching. If you want to follow along, subscribe, hit the like button. Thanks for all you guys who purchase products through my links below. Just that extra little cash is nice, helps me stay motivated to do the channel. So we'll see what's next. I don't know, I'd love to do wheels, price some out, maybe talk about those soon, but I'm not getting them just yet because my tires are still good. So we'll get some more to you soon. I appreciate you guys watching.